Hey, what's up everyone? In this video, I'm going to talk about the worst annual training in the National Guard. This one took place from June 9th to 30th, 2023 at Fort Stewart, Georgia. The unit is a North Carolina Army National Guard 30th Armored Brigade combat team. So here's how it all went down. This year's AT was XCTC, basically a giant game of military laser tag. We mounted lasers to our weapons, sensors to our gear and vehicles, and when we operated inside the XCTC area, they called it the box. And a camera crew followed us around and recorded our operations so that we can review it after. Getting there, we took buses to Fort Stewart, Georgia, and this time the entire brigade was there. That almost never happens. Because of that, a lot more vehicles than usual had to move by rail. Shout out to the rail unload team. They actually did a solid job. All our stuff was ready in the motor pool when we arrived. Week 1. The unit spent one night in the barracks. After that, vehicle crews went off to gunnery while the dismounts hit their own range. But even early on, things started to go sideways. At the Bradley Crew range, there was only about 8 porta potties. We saw a civilian loading them onto a truck, and when we asked why, he said the command did not reserve them for us. So yeah, we had to scramble and tell our chain of command just to keep our toilets. I hate that civilian, because not only did he try to take all our potties when we clearly still needed them, and did not attempt to confirm that he needed to take them, he already loaded up 4 porta potties of our 8, and when our command stopped him, he did not return the 4 he already loaded up, leaving us with just 4. There was a huge storm that rolled over the Bradley Range. The crews tried to go into the After Action Review Shack building on the range for shelter, but instead, the civilians told them that they could not use it and made them return to their Bradleys. The civilians told them that the building was only for after action reviews, and that's it. Some soldiers did get to ride in a small transport helicopter during gunnery, and later, more soldiers got another ride in a Black Hawk. Rumors and reality. There were rumors we'd get a day off before heading into the box. Even more rumors said we'd spend less time in the box because command was worried we wouldn't have enough time to reload everything onto the rail cars at the end. None of that happened. As soon as gunnery wrapped, the dismounts joined the crews and they thought they were heading into the box. Instead, everyone ended up in the woods for 3 days, just camping out. You may ask what we did during those 3 days. Put on our laser gear. That's it. We could have easily been rotated back to the barracks in shifts while leaving a skeleton crew to guard the vehicles. This information came from the medics. The medics were demanding to know why we were left out in the field. The medics heard from multiple people that high-ranking officers caught troops in the barracks and did not want that to happen anymore. There was another huge storm that hit us while we were out in the field that turned our entire sleeping area into a swamp, degrading the health of troops' feet right before we would enter an intense training event. The rain was so bad that a soldier's entire sleep system was flooded in a pool of water, so he had to sleep in a porta potty to escape the rain that night. The morning following the storm, he had a smile on his face as he went through the breakfast chow line in his underwear. A unit sent a small detachment of troops back with laundry to wash before they entered the box, but they were yelled at by their first sergeant that they could not be there and to return to the field. But they did finish getting laundry cleaned, but not dried. Inside the box. Once troops actually got into the box, they ran one mission during the day and one at night. There was no interaction with OPFOR outside of those missions. But what was supposed to happen is they could have attacked us at any time, except for when we were eating, even if we weren't on missions. I asked a OPFOR soldier how long they'd been in the field. He said 3 weeks. So that was probably why they didn't bother to do anything extra. Another reason why the OPFOR might have decided to not attack us is that the entire training area was completely destroyed by vehicle tracks, which turned the ground into mud when it rained. The heat and the command. One day, during a daytime mission, multiple soldiers showed signs of heat exhaustion. One even had to be medevaced and could have died. Despite that, the command staff for the battalion that was there to observe the operation still wanted the platoon to do the night mission. It took a Bradley driver straight up refusing to move and the platoon sergeant attempting to persuade the company commander to finally cancel that mission. We were then ordered to sleep instead. That's how close it came to being a real disaster. These are some screenshots of the responses to this script from soldiers who experienced it with me. The railhead chaos. Loading up to leave was a total mess. At the railhead, there are vehicles of all types lying all around the rail yard with absolutely no organization. In the 2 days that followed, random units were tasked to chain down vehicles to the rail cars. But there was no one keeping them there, so they all just left without anybody noticing. On the very last possible day to load the vehicles, the units that were still at the railway that day were not allowed to leave until it was done. It was a mix of infantry, tankers, and field artillery. That day, the civilians did not help us chain down until we were practically out of time and the train was about to arrive. And when the civilians were going around to check the chain downs, one civilian did not like how loose the chains were and told us that it's not that hard, even though it was obviously too hard for them to help us to do it right the first time. Before we went to the box, we were told that we were not allowed to have our phones. But the order was changed the day before the box started because Command wanted to take pictures that they could use for recruiting. Even though they are taking recruiting into account, it appears as if they just want to check off a box and say that they did it. When the commanders for this battalion and brigade will be asked by their bosses why retention is so bad, they will lie and say, "We don't know. We let them use their phones and gave them helicopter rides." But they know why. They know that they did not give the crews a single rest day. They forced their troops to stay in the field for 3 days for no reason. A soldier almost died, and they did not stop training. And a lack of planning, from something as small as reserving porta potties to as large as who and when will load vehicles to return home. The last thing I have to say is this: we can all build a better army together, as long as we can collaborate like what my friends did for me in making this video. We are stronger together.